So let's just say that you have an offer accepted. Now, what do you do? Now, a lot of people make a ton of mistakes, but in today's video, I'm literally going to talk about the 3 top mistakes that you can make after getting an offer accepted. And really what I'm trying to teach today is what to do after you get an offer accepted to make sure that the deal continues to go through, because most deals fall apart, after you get it accepted, and it sucks. It's brutal. I've been through it. And first of all, if you're new to the channel, my name is Justin Yearong, and I've helped hundreds of people make money in real estate. So the first thing that you should be doing, or I guess the mistake that most people make, is not preparing the sellers for the post-decision makers. And what I mean by that is oftentimes a seller will agree to selling their house, and then later on, they'll go home, they'll talk to a brother or an uncle or something. Hopefully you already talked to the spouse at the same time so that they're not talking to their spouse after, but maybe they're talking to their uncle or the brother, someone super trusted. And the uncle is saying hey, I don't know about this guy. I don't trust him. You probably shouldn't sell to him. And they convince them to cancel the contract, which they're legally not supposed to, but it could cause a lot of problems down the road to end the escrow or end the transaction. Now, what most people do is, the buyers or the wholesalers, they don't prepare the sellers for that. Now, what you can do is, here's how you can prepare them. You can talk to them after they sign the agreement, saying okay, now that we have this agreement, there might be other decision makers or people in your life who might persuade you to change your mind. What are you going to say to them? And so what you're doing is you're trying to get them to tell you that they trust you. If they say, if my uncle or my brother, whoever is, tries to persuade me to not go through with this, they'll tell them no, I trust this guy. We talked about it. I'm gonna sell my house to him. And if they tell that to you after signing the contract, they're going to be ready for when that uncle or when that brother finally comes to them and they're hey, don't trust this guy. They're gonna say, no, I trust him. We went through everything. He's a good guy. And he's gonna defend you, and so he's gonna continue with the transaction. But this is where a lot of people mess up, because you will be shocked at how these decision makers can really affect transactions even after they already agreed to sell their house. So do not make this mistake. It's a brutal mistake, and it's something that I've had to learn the hard way until someone really pointed out to me as far as why the deal fell apart. So the next thing that I guess most new investors fail to do, or new wholesalers, is that they don't prepare the sellers for when other investors are going to be reaching out to them. So what you'll see, and this is especially true if you're wholesaling the property. So if you're wholesaling the property and you get that under contract and you send it out to maybe a buyer's list, maybe a big buyer's list, a bunch of different buyers. And then a bunch of different buyers are now reaching out to that homeowner of hey, I heard you got this under contract with someone, hey, we can give you a better offer. We can do this for you. And the homeowner is now thinking oh crap, I should go with this guy. How do I cancel this contract? And it's a horrible thing to do, and it's really a sketchy thing to do for all the other investors or the buyers who are trying to do this and trying to go behind your back. But it happens. There's a lot of sketchy people out there. But here's what you could do to make sure that the seller does not go with those people. You can just set the expectation. You can tell them, hey, now that we have a signed contract, you're probably going to have a lot of different buyers out there who are going to be reaching out to you, saying that they can do better, to be better at pricing, whatever it is. And you can kind of set the expectation of saying at the end of the day, they're going to give you a price, and they're going to try to drop the price on you after they inspect the property, saying that the house needs all these repairs. You will get these messages. Try to anticipate what these buyers are going to be saying and tell them what they're going to say, so that when they say it, that the seller is going to be no, please don't bother me. I'm going to stick with my guy. He's a good guy. This is all it really is. It's super simple. But a lot of people don't prepare their sellers for this, and it sucks because escrows get canceled because of this. So make sure to prepare your sellers for these other investors or these other sketchy wholesalers out there who are trying to get the deal behind your back. The last thing that you can do, and this is actually, you might be terrified of doing this. I remember I was pretty scared of doing this the first time, but it's giving a seller the chance to back out after they've already signed. And here's what I mean by this. It's they sign the contract. So you make the offer, they sign the offer, they say, yep, we're good to go. You have to give them a chance to back out, and instantly too. So the reason for this is kind of psychological, but if you basically give them a chance to back out immediately, later on in the transaction, they'll be a lot less likely to actually back out because they'll know, no, this guy, he already gave me a chance to back out. And here's how you can do this. So you sign a contract with a seller. So they sign your offer, they accept it. From there, maybe it might be the last thing that you do before you leave. You can say, hey, like, I appreciate I appreciate you trusting me in all this, but I want to make sure that you have full, commitment. I want to make sure that there's no more doubts. So if there's any doubts at all, just let me know and I'll tear this contract up. Like, you can say something like, even if you're like on the phone and you're not in person, you can say, I'll virtually tear this contract up. And it might take them back. Like they might be like, whoa, like this guy just, made an offer. Like, why is he trying to back out already? But I promise you it's going to work because they're going to be like, oh, like they might think about it, but they will probably end up telling you, you know what? No, like, I trust you. Like they'll think about it and say, no, we're going to go through. I trust you. I'm not going to back out. Like this is my word. This is what I'm doing. And if they say that, perfect, because that, 3 weeks later, if it's a 3-week escrow or 4 weeks later, however long the escrow takes, if they are starting to get feelings of doubt, even if they do maybe want to back out, maybe if they regret their decision even a little bit, what you're doing is that they're going to start to feel that like, no, he already gave me a chance to get out of this. I'm not going to try to get out again. And so it's super beneficial. These 3 things are probably the most common mistakes I see. There are a lot of other mistakes out there, but these are the most common. So if you can just stick to these 3 and you understand these 3 fully, I promise you're going to have a lot more deals go through than you did before. So if you just need help in general with your real estate investing business, I want you to click on the link in the description below for a free strategy session. Peace.